If you've been paying attention to the fallout after the UN vote on Israeli settlements, you've probably heard these three myths over and over, which should be debunked. Myth number one, the claim that settlements are controversial.
Internationally, the West Bank is not disputed. It's outside the 67 borders.
It is disputed, but it is disputed.
The reality, there's a reason why the UN vote was unanimous. There is no controversy here. This is Israel, and these are the Palestinian territories. Israel building settlements on Palestinian land is land theft, pure and simple, and it is categorically illegal under international law. This is the view of the entire world through UN resolutions spanning decades, the International Court of Justice, and successive US administrations, all of whom oppose settlements. You know, in a saner world, neutrality on a UN vote about Israeli theft of Palestinian land would be a betrayal of the Palestinians. But in this bizarre Israel-centric worldview, Obama's abstention at the UN is taken as a betrayal of the perpetrators instead of the victims. Myth number two, the claim that the settlements are not the problem.
When you look at the facts on the ground, you know the settlements are not the issue.
You know, this one is just so absurd that I don't even have to engage the details. Just consider this analogy. Your neighbor breaks into your home every single day and steals your belongings. And when people try to make him stop, he says, "Oh, the problem isn't that I'm stealing his stuff. He would just hate me regardless of that." Even if that's true, you still have no right to break into your neighbor's home and take their belongings. Likewise, whatever you think the issue is in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, Israel still has no right to steal Palestinian land and build settlements on it, and should stop that regardless.
They do not want to negotiate peace with us, which is why they've avoided negotiations for 8 years.
You want to know why Palestinians don't just come forward and negotiate directly? Because they've done that before. For 7 long years, they've negotiated with the pretext that Israel would end the occupation of the Palestinian territories. But all Israel did throughout the entire peace process is entrench the occupation by building more and more settlements. To expect Palestinians to negotiate while Israel builds more settlements is like expecting you to reconcile with your robber neighbor while he's actively stealing more stuff out of your home.
We have held the building in Judea and Samaria for 10 months and nothing happened.
As for that 10-month settlement freeze, that actually was a partial freeze. Israel was still able to build settlements in East Jerusalem. So that's like your neighbor making a goodwill gesture of agreeing to stop robbing your house for 10 months, except for the stuff in the master bedroom, of course, because he's just got to take that. Myth number three, the claim that opposition to Israeli settlements is about anti-Semitism.
The Palestinian leadership actually demands a Palestinian state with one precondition: no Jews.
You know, this myth is the most insidious because it tries to scare people away from criticizing Israeli violations of Palestinian rights out of fear of being accused of bigotry. The issue with the settlements is not that Jewish communities are moving to Palestine to live with Palestinians as neighbors, is that Israel is taking over those areas, barring Palestinians from entering them and then declaring them part of Israel. To get your head around this, another analogy here is useful. Imagine if Russia sent its army over to California to place it under military occupation, then started systematically destroying American homes and towns and built new homes, and then brought people over from Russia to live in them and declared them Russian territory. Would Americans be okay with this? No, they wouldn't. And then if Russia claimed that American opposition to this is born out of bigotry, would anyone take that seriously? Of course not. So when the demagogue-in-chief says something like this,
No one would seriously claim that the nearly 2 million Arabs living inside Israel, that they're an obstacle to peace.
yeah, that's because they've been there since before Israel was created and they live under Israeli law. They're not stealing the land and refusing to live under the law the way Israeli settlers do in Palestine.